Hey, this is Augie, Augie's Locker Room. When you come to the store, you're going to see things that you've probably never seen before unless you've been to a museum. Great items that go back to the Rockney era to the present. Website, augieslockerroom.com. Visit us here or the website.
We just met with Marcus Freeman, and he announced the news that Tyler Buchner has an AC sprain, which doesn't sound real bad, but it will require surgery and a 4-month recovery time. So he is out for the balance of the season. Certainly the regular season, it would be a bowl game as well. And that elevates Drew Pyne to the starting role, Tim. It'll be his first start for Notre Dame. He's been good in relief at times, not on Saturday after standing on the sideline for 3 hours and coming in. But it's his ball game now. It's his football, and he's in charge of the Notre Dame offense.
Yeah, and it's, Marcus Freeman mentioned his patience is rewarded, and he said what we've always said. There is no way Tyler Buchner, a running aggressive quarterback, is playing a whole season for Notre Dame. It's just most running quarterbacks don't play a whole season for their team, and Drew Pyne's been called upon. I was surprised that he did not come in and shine in that kind of scramble mode situation, desperation against. But you pointed out to me, just as we said here, yeah, but he was standing cold on the bench for 3 hours. That's true. It's not fair for me to think Drew Pyne's going to shine just because that's what I foresaw for over the summer. But Drew Pyne's going to prepare properly. Leadership is going to be there from Drew Pyne. Confidence will come if he hits some early passes. I do think his physical limitations means he needs to hit some early passes to gain confidence, because you can have his confidence that we see every time we talk to him, or real confidence, which is to let the ball rip. I don't think he had that when he got into the game late on Saturday.
Marcus Freeman said the passing game per se doesn't change with the insertion of Drew Pyne into the starting lineup. The running game's a little bit different. Obviously, he's not the threat that Tyler Buchner is. Tyler Buchner's stronger, faster. And so I think that diminishes the Notre Dame running game, which is one thing that they cannot really afford. But I want to go back to what you said about the confidence of Drew Pyne. Drew Pyne is going to prepare, and that was something else Marcus Freeman said. He prepares like a pro, always has, prepares like he's the starter. And so from that standpoint, that gives you a little bit of confidence, but we know his physical shortcomings. But it's all Notre Dame has right now. Steve Angeli, I think, has a chance to be pretty good over time. He is not ready. Some are suggesting you put him in the starting lineup now. He's not ready. He doesn't know the playbook well enough. He hasn't run the playbook enough to be in that position.
Yeah, I think it's important to explain how the scout team really works for some people. He's been running the other team's plays since mid-August, since they broke camp. So maybe August 20th is the last time he ran Notre Dame's plays. Well, that was until Sunday, because they practiced Sunday. That is standard, I guess, for Marcus Freeman. He's going to start running those plays 60-40. Marcus Freeman just kind of was asked the number. He said 60-40 reps. You got to get Angeli ready. He admitted we probably got to get Angeli in a game at some point, so he's not thrown in like Drew Pyne was thrown in. But that time is probably not now. I think it's going to take 2 weeks to get him up to speed. Certainly he'll be more up to speed after the bye week. They have 2 games coming up in a bye, and then BYU. At that point, Angeli can start to know more about the offense, where he could help if he gets thrown in. Right now, if he gets thrown in, that playbook is going to go this will be completely condensed. It's not with Drew Pyne, except the running game, which the running game has been Tyler Buchner. Like, if this was before the season started and you said Drew Pyne has to start, we'd think, they're going to lean on their offensive line and the running backs. They haven't been able to do that, so that's what's a concern for the running game for me.
Probably not the best opponent for Drew Pyne to start against. When you look at what Cal can do defensively, they've been very good. Justin Wilcox, their head coach, has a defensive background, and that has been the one aspect that's been very consistent under Wilcox's leadership at Cal. So it is what it is. Drew Pyne is gone. Drew Pyne is in the starting lineup, and Tyler Buchner is gone for the year with shoulder surgery coming up.